Welcome to Love in Life, a guide to a positive mindset. My aim is to show you that the key to a happier and more positive mind is to love the life you have. We will look at tips and tools you can use to improve your mindset, and the best thing is, we'll all be on this journey together. Hello everyone. Firstly, I just want to say I hope you all had a lovely Valentine's Day, because by the time you're listening to this, we'll be past the 14th. So I really hope you've had a lovely Valentine's Day or Galentine's, whatever you celebrate. We don't really celebrate much, to be honest. And over Valentine's Day, we're actually going to be in Disneyland. So with our kids and my sister and her kids. So that's how we celebrate Valentine's Day, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just want to say quickly, I have got my washing machine on in the background. I record in my utility room, but I've had to do a quick one today. So I do apologise about the noise in the background. But yeah, me being me, I've left it to the last minute. I was in two minds as to whether to actually do a podcast today, because I don't think there's anything wrong with having a bit of time off when we need it. But I thought I would just do a very quick one, because there was something the other day that made me think would make a good subject to talk about. And so I've had both the boys off home ill this week, well, last week. And it's been really lovely, actually, because they've both been really poorly. They've both been struggling to shift viruses that they've had basically since Christmas. So we thought, do you know what? Rather than keep sending them back to school and then they get sent home again, let's just keep them off for the last week of term and let them rest. And the lovely thing is, because I'm still very much in my transition phase at the moment, where I'm not full-time coaching, it's just a perfect time for me to enjoy this transition and spend some time with the boys. So we've been watching films every day, like getting some lovely snacks and watching films. And one of the films we watched was Bruce Almighty. And if you've seen Bruce Almighty, like, I watched it years ago and I loved it at the time, but it was one of those, like, I could never find it on any of the streaming platforms when we all started streaming. So, but it's on Disney Plus at the moment. So that was one of the films I thought would be a good film to introduce to the boys, because if you recall it, it's very much, even though obviously he takes God's place, it's very much law of attraction based as well. So the film starts by Jim Carrey's character Bruce, obviously. He starts every day, like, something shit happens every morning, like the car won't start and he stands in dog poo and, all stuff like that. And he's very much like, oh, why does this always happen to me? Oh, my day's going to be shit. And guess what? His day ends up being shit. And the more shit that happens, the shitter it gets, the more your mindset is in that shit, frame of mind, and you're just attracting more shit. Sorry, the washing machine's really starting to get loud now. I'll have to stop when it starts spinning. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But it was I just thought it'd be a good example for me to use, just to say, check in with your thoughts. So how do your thoughts start off every day? Do you wake up thinking, fucking bring it on, today's going to be a great day? Or do you start off thinking, oh, what shit's going to happen today? And one thing happens, then another thing happens, and you think, why does this shit always happen to me? Just check in with your thoughts. Because what that also does, if you start off with that frame of mind every morning, like, what shit is going to happen to me today, and then shit does start happening, what you're doing is focusing on how you are affected. You become so closed-minded that you kind of close yourself off to potentially turning your day around or allowing good things to come. We've all done it. We all do it. Your alarm goes off in the morning, you snooze it. You don't want to get up, and then something goes wrong, like the dog pukes on the carpet, a regular occurrence in my house. Then you're running late, you're rushing out of the house to try and get to work on time. Then because you're a couple of minutes late, there's traffic and you get stuck in traffic for, it might only be a few extra minutes, but that frustration you feel when you're sat in traffic longer than you would normally be just heightens the frustration, and it spirals, not in a good way. We've all been there. But it's so important to recognise as early on as possible that you are starting to spiral and try and bring yourself round as soon as you can. And a brilliant way to actually start your day, as I've said many, many times, and this is something I do without fail, is to start your day writing a gratitude list. Even if you can just write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And, the smaller the better. It doesn't have to be massive things, because the smaller things just makes you realise how much there is to be grateful around. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't always have to be massive things that you're grateful for, like you've won the lottery or you've had a promotion, or, just little things like, I'm so grateful that my parents live just around the corner. They're there when I need them. I'm there when they need me. I'm so grateful that my kettle boils water so quickly, because then I can have a cup of tea quicker in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Like, those little things I'm really, truly grateful for. And they set my day off in a state of gratitude rather than a state of, oh, what can go wrong now? If you feel that you need help with that, like if you don't find it comes easy to you to find little things to be grateful for, that's fine. That's nothing to be ashamed of, or, it does take practice. And something that I have found to be a massive, massive help to me has been to take part in the magic. And I know I've talked about the magic before. It's a 28-day gratitude process, and there's lots of different practices that you've got to do, but every day without fail, you find 10 things to be grateful for. And that sounds really easy. Like, obviously, we've got lots of things to be grateful for. But obviously, by day 10, you've already found 100 things to be grateful for, which is an amazing thing, but it gets really hard. Like, it gets really hard to not keep repeating yourself, because obviously there's no point in keep repeating yourself, but it gets really hard to try and find new things to be grateful for. So you do get to the point where you're starting to think, I'm grateful for my eyes, I'm grateful for my lungs, I'm grateful for my ears, so as I can listen to podcasts. But by the end of 28 days, when you've thought of 280 things to be grateful for, it does just get you into the habit of finding the little things to be grateful for every day. It's a great habit to make. Then when the 28 days is up, you've got a great habit ingrained in you. So that's my thought for the day. That is my super duper quick podcast for this week. I'm so sorry it's so short, but it is really important to check in with your thoughts every now and again. I am off to pack now because we're literally leaving here in like 2 hours. So I've got all my stuff ready, but as usual, I've left it to the last minute. I've got to put everything in the bags and pack the car. So I'm going to go and do that, and I'm going to have a fabulous time. I really hope whatever you're doing this week, you have a wonderful time as well. The weather is so much brighter now. It almost feels like spring is on the way. So I hope you have a lovely week. Try and get out for a nice walk in the sun if you can. Get in some vitamin D down you. And I will be back, hopefully, as normal next week, because I know I'm very aware that my reliability has not been great this year, what with illness and leaving things at the last minute. So yeah, hopefully I'll be back as normal next week. Stay well, stay happy and stay positive, and I'll speak to you then. Bye.